Hello everyone, welcome to the 2026 Concacaf Under-20 Qualifiers official draw. My name is Pedro Velázquez and I am the Director of Men's National Teams Competitions at Concacaf. The Concacaf Under-20 Championship is held every 2 years, and the 2026 Concacaf Under-20 Qualifiers will be the first stage of the qualifying tournament for the 2027 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. In total, 32 CONCACAF member associations has registered, and they will compete in the qualifier phase that will determine the 6 teams that will advance to the 2026 CONCACAF Under-20 Championship. The Under-20 ranking as of August 5th, 2024 has been used to determine in which pot each team will participate. In this draw, the participating member associations will be split into 6 groups, 2 groups of 6 teams and 4 groups of 5 teams each among the eligible participating member associations. After round-robin play, in which each team will play against each team in its group once, the group winners, 6 teams in total, will advance to the CONCACAF Under-20 Championship and will join the top 6 teams in the ranking. The 2026 CONCACAF Under-20 qualifiers will take place between February 23rd to March 4th of 2026. The draw for the group stage of the Under-20 qualifiers will be conducted using a single blind system involving a total of 6 pots. It is important to note that for this draw, there can only be 1 host member association in each group. If a host member association is drawn to a group that already has 1 host previously drawn into it, then the selected team will be placed in the next available group in alphabetical order. The host MAs for the qualifiers are Costa Rica hosting 2 groups, Curacao and Nicaragua hosting 2 groups as well. Pot 1 will contain the names of the 6 pre-seeded teams based on their ranking: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Canada, Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Jamaica. Pot 2 will contain the name of the next 6 teams in the rankings: Trinidad and Tobago, Nicaragua, Curacao, Antigua and Barbuda, Suriname, and Puerto Rico. Pot 3 will contain the names of the next 6 teams in the ranking: Bermuda, Aruba, St. Kitts and Nevis, Belize, St. Lucia, and Guyana. Pot 4 will contain the next 6 teams: Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Barbados, and Martinique. Pot 5 will contain the names of the next 6 teams: Dominica, St. Martin, Sint Maarten, Anguilla, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Turks and Caicos. And finally, Pot 6 will contain the final 2 teams of this tournament: French Guiana and Bonaire. The draw will begin with the teams from Pot 1, where the 6 teams will be drawn into position 1 of each group. 1 sphere from Pot 2 then will be drawn to determine the teams in positions 2 of Group A. This process then will be repeated to determine the teams in position 2 of each of the next groups. The same procedure will be followed by Pot 3, 4, 5, and 6, distributing the teams in position of each group accordingly. Now that we know the competition's format and the draw procedures, let's begin the draw. So we'll go ahead and start with Pot 1. The first team drawn will take position 1 of Group A, and it's El Salvador. El Salvador taking Group A, position 1. Let's continue to find out who is the team taking position 1 of Group B, and it's Jamaica. So Jamaica going to B1 of this tournament. The next sphere will take position 1 of Group C, and is Dominican Republic. So Dominican Republic going to Group C. 3 more spheres on Pot 1. The next sphere will be going to position 1 of Group D, and it's Haiti. So Haiti taking position 1. 2 more spheres to go. Let's see who will be going to Group E, and it's Costa Rica. So one of the hosts of these qualifiers, Costa Rica, going to position 1 of Group E. And finally, the last sphere of this pot number 1 will be Canada going to Group S. Okay, let's continue now. Moving along to put pot number 4 of this draw. This is where the excitement starts, knowing who joined El Salvador in Group A, and it's Suriname. So Suriname going to Group A with El Salvador. Let's continue and see which team will join Jamaica in Group B, and it's Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico going to Group B with Jamaica taking position B2. Let's see which team will join now Dominican Republic in Group C, and it's Antigua and Barbuda. All right, let's move along to the next sphere. The next team will be drawn into Group D, and it's Curaçao. So Haiti and Curaçao, Group D. Curaçao, as explained before, is the host of this group. Let's move along to the last 2 spheres. Let's find out which is the team going with Costa Rica, and it's Trinidad and Tobago. So Trinidad and Tobago and Costa Rica, and the last sphere going with Canada should be Nicaragua, and it's indeed Nicaragua, another host going together with Canada. Okay, so let's move along. With that, we have concluded the constraints for this draw. Continuing to pot 3, the first sphere will join Salvador and Suriname, and it's Belize, another Central American team, together with El Salvador and a Caribbean team, Suriname, in Group A. Continuing to the next sphere of pot 3, joining Jamaica and Puerto Rico, it's St. Kitts and Nevis. So 3 Caribbean teams together in pot B, St. Kitts and Nevis taking position B3. 4 more spheres to go. In Group C now, joining Dominican Republic and Antigua and Barbuda will be St. Lucia. St. Lucia going to position C3. Let's find out who will go to position D3 of this draw, together with Haiti and Curaçao, and it's Guyana. 3 teams together now in Group D. Moving along to the last 2 spheres of pot 3, together with Costa Rica and Trinidad, it's Bermuda. So Bermuda going to Group E, and the last sphere of pot 3 will take position F3 together with Canada and Nicaragua, and it's Aruba. All right, with that, we have concluded the first 3 pots. 3 more pots to go. This pot number 4 will also contain 6 teams to join and to fulfill all the positions 4 of each of the group. Let's start with Group A. Position A4 is Grenada. Salvador, Suriname, Belize, and Grenada taking Group A. We're almost complete with each of the groups. Let's find out now who will go to Group B. It's Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands joining Jamaica, Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis in Group B. Moving along to the next sphere to determine who is going to Group C is British Virgin Islands. So Dominican Republic, Antigua and Barbuda, British Virgin Islands, and St. Lucia going to Group C. 3 more spheres. We're halfway there from pot 4. Let's see who will join the three teams that have been drawn in Group D, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So Haiti, Curacao, Guyana, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines going to Group D. Let's move along now to the last two spheres of Pot 4. The next sphere taking position 4 of Group E, and it's Barbados. So Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, Bermuda, and Barbados in Group E. And the last sphere, joining Canada, Nicaragua, and Aruba, it is Martinique. So Martinique joining those three teams in Group F. Moving along now to pot number 5. This pot will conclude the first 4 teams of this draw. We'll start with Group A, which will still have one more sphere, one more team from pot 6. In this case, St. Martin will go to Group A, position 5. So Group A, one team still to go. Let's move along to Group B now. Will be exactly the same case as Group A. Still one team to go. In this case, Turks and Caicos Islands will take position 5 for Group B. Now, let's move along with this remaining 4 spheres. Will determine the groups C, D, E, and F. So the first group to be concluded, it's Group C, and it is Dominica. So Dominican Republic, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Lucia, British Virgin Islands, and Dominica are concluding now Group C. So first group concluded. Let's see who will conclude the second group, Group D, together with Haiti, Curacao, Guyana, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it's Anguilla. Anguilla taking position 5 of Group D. So also Group D has been concluded. Let's move along now to find out who will join Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, Bermuda, and Barbados in Group E, and it's St. Martin. St. Martin going to position 5 of Group E. Let's see the last sphere now that will conclude Group F, and will conclude the first 4 groups of this tournament, and it is U.S. Virgin Islands. U.S. Virgin Islands taking position 5 of Group F. So we have drawn the majority of teams, 2 more spheres to go. 2 teams will go to Group A and Group B accordingly. So let's start with the first sphere to conclude the first group of 6 out of the 2. Group A, and it's French Guiana. Okay, French Guiana, and the last sphere of this draw for the Under-20 Qualifiers 2026, it's Bonaire. All right, with that, we have concluded the draw. Let's quickly review the qualifying stage groups. Group A, El Salvador, Suriname, Belize, Grenada, St. Martin, and French Guiana. Group B, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis, the Cayman Islands, Turks and Caicos Islands, and Bonaire. Group C, Dominican Republic, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Lucia, British Virgin Islands, and Dominica. Group D, Haiti, Curacao, Guyana, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Anguilla. Group E, Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, Bermuda, Barbados, and St. Martin. And Group F, Canada, Nicaragua, Aruba, Martinique, and U.S. Virgin Islands. There you have it. What an amazing draw. We will surely have some exciting matches during this Under-20 qualifiers. Please join us in celebrating this amazing competition by tuning in into one of the official Concacaf official platforms and see which are the 6 teams that will qualify for the championship phase that will take place next summer. Thank you for joining us for the 2026 Concacaf Under-20 qualifier draw. On behalf of Concacaf, we wish you all a great day.